Hello guys, Afam here, with my guide on Queen Ansurek Phase 1 and Intermission. Let's get started. I'm using recordings from our own pools. They are not at all being done perfectly, but I'll still give valuable information on what to look out for and how it should look like. So, starting off by pulling the boss on to the edge of the room on this line, which is at 11 o'clock. The entrance of the room would be somewhere around here. We want to bait the first pools in one location. That's why we have the full rate ideally being stacked behind the boss. Baiting the pools nice and tight. Making sure to move out in time. Don't greed cast too much. They spawn quite fast. And then getting ready for roots 1. Now for roots, you want to pre-plan on how to break them. You want the full rate to break on first and second root at least. And third root, if you have people that can't break, they can go on the boss and being broken out. But make a list. Have freedoms assigned. If you need to know or need some help, you can screenshot this right here. So you have an idea on what to use. The idea on where to stand, we are using pre-assigned spots. Although in practice they are not being done perfectly. But it is nice to know just so that Evokers kind of play in front based on their ranged, whereas Warlocks, Hunters and so they play in the back. And it's also good for Malice to have a general idea on where to play on the left side, right side of the boss, front, back, just so it's easier to spread out. But generally, you want to place the roots close to previous stuff on the ground to have good space management. So don't be too much ahead. Place them close. Mages, by the way, they play kinda ahead and then they break the root by blinking and they leave a puddle on the end location of their blink. That's why they're playing ahead. Anyways, we're breaking them. We're spawning a web puddle on the ground by doing so. That's why we're moving the boss ahead, getting ready for lines. In order to do lines consistently, they have been nerfed to only 3 sets instead of 4, so it is easier now. Ranged, ideally play somewhat spread out in this location. You don't want to be ahead of the boss, so play on the inner side. Spreading out is nice to bait them better, and it's as easy as just sidestep, move to a good spot. For Malice, it's a bit different. In order to be consistent, Malice want to kinda stand their ground, stand still, let all 3 sets spawn before they go into a safe spot. Because you could imagine if these melees decide to dodge this line instantly by going over here, they might spawn another set in this location, which could end up badly. So they kinda just chill, let all 3 sets spawn, and then move into a good spot and dodging these lines. Now these lines, they are easy to dodge, but they do one shot, so just make sure you don't sleep. Get in a good spot. And getting ready for next mechanic. Now, Toxins once overlaps with the lines. Place for Toxins, we stole, or not stole, but we copy from this video right here. Queen Ansurek kill, world rank 120, Frostmage POV from Stormseer. The idea is that we have 1 or 2 of these circles in melee. Obviously, the first Toxins only has 2 circles instead of 3, so it's a bit different. But you can see me here. My idea is to get into a specific spot, which is right here. I want to be behind the boss, so anywhere on this line is important, and ideally on the edge of the room. I want to have my circle overlapping with the boss's red hitbox over here, just so that Malice can have uptime. Ideally as far back as possible, again, not forward. And yeah, that's where I place mine. The other one is the range soak, which is being placed on this line of the hexagon in the middle of the room. Now this leaves us with good spots to dodging the waves that are coming. Get in your circle that you pre-assign. We use Northern Sky Wikara. I do believe Liquid will do the same thing, which is people that are assigned to pop, they just need to pop at 0 seconds of their timer, and you will always be good. To understand when to pop though, you're being in the air for 2 seconds. So once the cast is below 2 seconds, ideally below, let's say 1.8 seconds, you are free to pop. Because you're going to be in the air for 2 seconds and the wave has already come out of the boss. You're able to dodge that. Yeah, that's how it's being handled. So they are popping early. Not early, they are popping in time actually. We can see the 1 second debuff has gone away from their pop, so we are free to pop now as well, but we just followed the timer popping at 0, so now we should be in the air. We can see that we are landing. The swirly, the circle that I placed is in a good spot, because now we need to be ready to dodge the waves. The circles from the jumpers, they just move forward away from us. I don't need to worry about them, so my eyes now is over here. I want to dodge these waves that come out. And to give this guy more room, I want also to move that way as well. So I'm not in the circle of the explosion. Now my eyes are on the second swirly that shoots out waves. So I'm ready to dodge these waves over here, which is good. There's minimal movement needed if you do it correctly. Again, we're landing, dodging these waves, boom, dodging these waves, not needing to move. Then next mechanic, second set of pools. We want to place them close to other stuff on the ground. That's why we are just all here. Spawning pools, moving out in time, don't greed cast too much, getting ready for another set of roots. Same thing, close to other stuff. Make sure you have some sort of break. We use Time Spiral for this. Breaking out. Getting ready for blades. Again, range can play anywhere here. Just dodging, melees, you wait for all 3 to spawn, then get in a good spot. Now we have some downtime. Getting ready for lines into toxins number 2. Now second set of toxins. Because we did it wrong, I'll actually show you what the plan is based on the positionings that we copied. Let me find it real quick. Alright, here we go. We do have lines into toxins. We can see the boss is at the edge of the room. Far enough ahead of previous stuff so that we can place toxins and they are not inside of the webs or anything. So we get the lines, we dodge them, we get 3 circles with toxins, and that's how they are being placed. So one guy is on the edge of the room having their circle again touching the red circle of the boss, so for melee uptime. Second one does the same thing. We can also see that even though these circles overlap, it does nothing because both of those groups will jump before the venom explosion or a wave actually comes out. So we have 2 circles in the close to boss, and the range circle is on the line of this hexagon, close to other stuff. That's how they're being placed. Once again, going into your pre-assigned circle. Popping both melee circles before the wave comes out. And then popping the third as soon as possible as well. You can see that we land, get dragged to the boss. The circles are in a good spot. My eyes now are on the waves while the poppers just move forward, moving out. I'm ready to dodge this wave coming in. My eyes are over here. I'm ready to dodge the second wave coming in. And I'm ready to dodge the third wave here as well. Now this is also the hard overlap in this fight, because there's a couple of mechanics coming in. First off, we can see that we have 3 stacks that are gonna explode for rate damage. And we would see also that we need to dodge lines and then spawning pools on our location. Now most people use a personal right here before the explosion. We are spawning lines, and ideally, if you can, you want to dodge these lines backwards, so to say. So this guy, instead of dodging it to the right, moves to previous stuff on the ground because we are spawning pools. So you dodge them, you ideally end up close to previous stuff on the ground. Just don't be too far ahead. Spawning pools. Excuse me. And making sure moving out for these. So that's the hard overlap. Looking at it one more time in real time, because it goes quite fast. We are popping. We are having our eyes to dodge the waves. Dodging waves. We're using a personal now for the explosion. We are dodging lines backwards, baiting pools, and making sure to dodge these as well. Now moving forward, we are spawning roots. That's why the boss is close to other stuff on the ground. We're just spawning them. This is the third set as well. If you have stuff assigned and you have people not being able to break on the third route, these people are supposed to go under the boss, but also more so rather in front of the boss where the boss is facing. That's where it gives you the most time to break them out. So if you can't break, you go under or in front of the boss. Don't be to the side of it or behind it. So we are breaking those. Swap to the target in the tomb based on your AoE damage. Then we're moving forward. Touching lines, it's as easy as that. Actually, I'm gonna swap over to one of our good pulls over here. Where is it? We'll take this one. Alright, so we saw this route right here. Close to stuff, breaking out. We use a spiral. Again, people that gets broken out need to be in front. Ideally, we swap to them. They get broken out quite late. So they survive these lines. And now we are almost in intermission. We need to do one more toxin. So you can see here we moved the boss ahead. We are replacing marks actually on this line over here. Even though there's a lot of space here, we actually want to keep that space free for intermission. Makes it quite easy. So we have the boss a bit ahead of these marks. We're ready to place the 3 marks over here. We have 2 of them in melee. Once again, having it overlapping with the boss's hitbox. The third one is on the line of the hexagon. Now we get the waves and then we need to pop. Especially if you're assigned for the first pop or the first, just the first circle over here, you need to make sure you dodge the lines actually close to your ring. Because as soon as these lines are gone, we actually want to pop the first one. And we pop the second one before the waves comes out as well. And then we pop the third. You can also see that ranged here, the safe room will always be in the back of the circle. If I would stand all the way in the front, I would get hit by the wave before we actually pop. So we pop these. My eyes are on the waves, while I know these guys need to go out anyway. So I just dodge these waves. And then we head into intermission. Now phase 1 done, intermission. We are starting off with a pull-in. First off, the pull-in does quite good damage, so pre-plan your personals. Ideally, you have a personal for both of the pull-ins that we're gonna play. We're gonna skip the third one. In terms of damage, to skip the third at the moment of this recording, you probably want 2 or 3 people popping their CDs. So in our case, it will actually be a Shadow with a Frosty K, maybe one more. Figure that out yourself. Anyways, we are getting pulled in. When the pull-in happens, we are gonna spawn a web puddle like these on our positioning that are actually gonna spread over time. So we want space management by being close to the puddles on the ground here on the right side. Melees actually come out quite far here as well. But there are some melees that are able to immune the pull-in. These melees are supposed to play in certain spots. Now spot 1 is if they are able to immune the pull-in but not the web spawn by being magic immune. They want to play close to other stuff on the ground here as well. That's why we have some space here on the right side. They can also stand in previous puddles. Doesn't deal too much damage. So that they spawn their puddle in a good spot. Some DKs can immune both the pull-in and the web spawn with AMS, so they could also play in this location. But anyways, we're getting pulled, we're spawning webs on the ground that are gonna spread out over time. After we've getting pulled in, there's waves shooting out. There's some downtime before the next pull in, so we kind of want to fan out. Mobile classes move left, just so we have more space to dodge the waves and not splashing damage from the circles onto other players. So we are doing that, spreading out, dodging waves, getting ready for the next pull in. This will deal even more damage than the second one, so you want to have CDs assigned to survive it. Once again, because it spawns a web puddle, we want to be on the right side close to other stuff, making sure we dodge these waves as well. Same thing for melees. If you immune the pull-in, you go to the right to spawn a good web. And then we are fanning out once again. We can see we have all this room. So that's enough room even for melees to dodge waves and not stacking on each other to splash damage. And we just want to beat the third pull-in 6 seconds. We're doing that here quite early. And that is intermission done. Yep, that's it for this video. Hopefully you learned some valuable stuff. Thanks for listening, and I see you guys around. Goodbye.